Hi everyone, it's Nicole, and I'm here to talk about the books that I read in August and September in the year of 2021. So I'm still working on my 2021 album, but it's all good. Um, I kind of like the fact that when I was ready to do this, because I started in 2022, I just sat there and I printed all 100 books that I read in the year 2021. And now I have them all separated by months. And so when I have a minute, I can say, okay, well, today I'm going to do a month. So I only have October, November, December left to do. So I'm doing pretty good. And once I finish those, I figure it's probably going to be probably, July and August. Well, then I can start with 2022. And what I decided to do this year, or I guess I started last year, is, or 2020, is I don't do them in small albums anymore. I use a 12 by 12 because I can fit so much more. The first few years that I did this, I did everything in mini albums. And if you think if you do this every year in a mini album, you're going to have tons of mini album. And I think this way I'll probably be able to put 2 to 3 years per 12 by 12. So these stickers right here, which I've had questions about this before, where the ones that I use for the numbers, they're actually some of our digital files. And I printed it on some sticker paper, and then I cut it out with my brother's Scan and Cut so that they're little stickers. I don't have to cut them out. I just peel them off and put them on the cards. The other thing is when I start, I choose a Project Life package, if you will, and I do a whole month with it. Like I don't go between packages, between, all the pictures for that specific month. I pick one package and I go with it. And then usually I pick one sticker book too, and I just add little stickers here and there. Sometimes I try to make it so that it kind of coordinates with what the book is, but a lot of times not. Okay, so for the month of August, which I didn't realize until I printed all these out and then started separating them by month, but the month of August, I literally read all the books from one series. It's a long series. It's called Ice Planet Barbarian by Ruby Dixon. It's kind of a schmexy romance series. But what I like about it, there's some steamy times in those books too, but there's actually a story, and that's what I loved about it. And there was, I think, 21 or 22 books, and I read them all in the year 2021. So basically I read 100 books. 1/5 of the books that I read was that series. So what I'll do is I'll just say all the books that I read in the month of August, and then I'll say what the story, the series is about. So I read Having the Barbarian's Babies, Barbarian's Mate, Ice Ice Baby, Barbarian's Touch, Calm, Barbarian's Taming, Aftershocks. And those are all the 8, whatever, how many books, 7 or 8 books that I read in the month of August. And this follows, it's some human girls that were abducted by aliens, and on the way, and they were bad aliens, and on the way to going to this place where they're going to sell them off, they kind of crash. And then on this new planet, there's like blue aliens, but these aliens are nice, and they kind of save them. They kind of help them out, and then they have no other way to get to Earth, so they live on this planet. And the whole series is, all about different characters. So that's another thing. I really like that you kind of get attached to the characters, and then you get a story for each of the characters. So right now what I'm doing, I decided to write down on the little cards all the books for the rest of the year. So I did September, October, November, and December. And then that way, it's just going to be done. And as the months wore on, I was so far behind that some of the months I had to read 17 books. So I did a lot of reading in the last few months of the year. So that's one thing that I'm trying to kind of not do this year, is to fall behind too far behind. I think I'm 4 books behind schedule right now, but I have 5 books that I'm almost done right now. So I'm going to try and make sure that I get that done. So now we're working on the month of September, and shocker, the first 2 books that I read in the month of September were part of that series. It was Barbarian's Heart and Barbarian's Hope. And this series as a whole for me was a 4-star. Now let's see how many books that I read in the month of September. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I read 7 books in the month of September. So the next book that I read after the 2 books from the Ruby Dixon series is Isn't It Bromantic by Lissa K. Adams. This is book number 4. And the first one was called, I think it was called Bromance Book Club. And it's about all these, if you will, superstar in their field. So it's not only baseball player, it's not only, a football team. They're all kind of superstar in the career that they've chosen. So there's a baseball player, there's a hockey player, there's like somebody that does well in the business world. And this one here, it follows the hockey player. And I have to say, in all the other books, I really liked him. He was the Russian hockey player. He was so funny in all the books. So I was looking forward to having his love story, and it was really cool. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. And if she writes more in the series, and I can't remember, I think there's a few more characters, that they kind of deserve their stories told too. So I'm hoping that will come. Oh, look at that. I'm just looking it up right now. It's coming out on November 1st, 2022. And it's called A Very Merry Bromance. And quickly, we'll see who it follows. It follows Colton. I love Colton. Okay, so yay. I'm glad that there's another one coming out this year. The next book I read is called The Secret Gift. It's a villain origin story. It's from the Stolen Kingdom series by Bethany Atazada. And she has a YouTube channel on YouTube. And she's an author, obviously. And this series here, I absolutely love it. The first part of this series, The Stolen Kingdom, there was 4 books. And they're kind of like loosely retelling. I think there was one that was the Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast. And there is a character in there, and she's like the villain. So now, this was supposed to be a standalone. And now she's written 2 more books to go. This is going to be a series of its own, which I love. And there's Jin, and I just love it. So this one here, it follows Jezebel, and it's her story. And now there's 2 more books. I think she's written them all. She's written them already, or she's writing the 3rd one right now. And the second one, she's in the phase where she is in like the editing part of the books, which is awesome. Which whatever books she writes, I will read. I have her first 2 books, which I haven't read yet. So I got to put them on my list maybe for this year, because I love her writing. The next book, surprise, surprise, it's from that Ruby Dixon series again. It was Barbarian's Choice. I don't know if I should say who it follows, because I don't think it really matters. I think this one follows Murdoch. Yeah, Murdoch. Then the next book I read is a new series to me, and it's a Canadian author, which I love to support. It's called A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth, and I love that it's also based in Canada. It's based in Toronto, but it's a fantasy world, and she finds out that she has powers. She had, no idea that she had powers. Actually, she knew of the world. She just think that she was a dud, and come to find out she is, pretty important in the whole thing. So I absolutely love this book. I gave it 5 star. It was more like a 4.5 read, but if I'm going to give it 4.5 on Goodreads, I'm going to rate it as 5 stars. And this is the first book in a series, so I can't wait to read more about it. And when is book number 2 coming out? What? It's coming out this month, like next week. I am loving it. So as soon as I'm done this, I'm going to check to see if I can get maybe the ebook, because that's how I read the first one. Okay, the next book, surprise, surprise, Barbarian's Redemption, which is part of the Ruby Dixon series. And this one, I can't remember who it follows. Doesn't matter. There's a bazillion characters in that series. The next book I read was probably one of my favorite books of the year. It's Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, which is a nonfiction, and it's kind of funny to say that it's one of my favorite books. The way to consume this book is definitely Audible, because he narrates it, and I love him as an actor and a voice actor. He is amazing. His story is unbelievable. I really love it. The next book is Barbarian's Lady, again part of the whole Ruby Dixon world. The next book I read, I have 2 more books. The next book is The Test by Silva Nouvelle, which is a short story. I gave it 4 stars, and this was really interesting. It was people taking a test to become American citizens. But man, oh man, what a twist. I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. And the last book I read this month is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. And it follows witches and vampires. And it also has a TV series that is on Sundance. And I've since read the whole series. I loved it. And I also watched the series on Sundance, which I also love. But that's it. That's all the books that I read in August and September in the year of 2021. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.